What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color. Today I'm talking my top 10 releases of 2024, Blu-rays and 4Ks included. I'm going to do them all in one video. These are my 10 favorite releases that I picked up last year. Obviously, this is going to be very subjective. I can only rank things that I've actually seen, so my list is going to look very different from your list and all the other YouTubers' lists who have done this already. I've been watching a bunch of them. I've got a lot of stuff on my list that I still need to pick up that I haven't grabbed yet, but this is my list. The best things I got all last year, and I can't wait to show you guys what's on the list. Let's go ahead and dive in first with a couple honorable mentions, just a few here that just missed my list, but I have to mention them because there's some incredible releases. Starting first with two boutique box sets, two very similar boutique box sets. These just missed my list because I didn't feel comfortable putting on there because I haven't seen these movies yet. These are brand new films. This one right here, 3 films from Luis Buñuel that just came out in December. This is a beautiful box set from Radiance Films, 3 Heresies, Nothing is Sacred. And then we've also got a trilogy of films here from Martin Scorsese, Films of Faith. So 2 very similar box sets. I can't wait to dive into both of these. Like I said, just picked this one up in December. Haven't had a chance to look into it yet. One of the films in this set is called The Exterminating Angel, which I have been wanting to watch for a long time. I've known about it because it's in the Criterion collection, and I haven't got around to it, so finally gonna knock that one off the list and watch the other 2 films as well. I can't wait. This is a great set. Radiance has been killing it with their box sets lately. You get 3 individually packaged films with Scanavo cases in there, and then you get a nice, thick, beefy booklet with some beautiful photography and wonderful essays in there to learn more about these films. Buñuel is a director that I've been interested in for years, but still haven't had a chance to dive into yet, so I'm looking forward to this being my introduction to his stuff, and then moving on to some of the other films that are in the Criterion collection. So excited to dive into that, but just got it last month, so that's gonna have to wait for 2025. And then this one, Martin Scorsese's Films of Faith. I just did a full video on this about mid-year. So exciting that we finally have these in a nice box set, especially Kundun, which was only available limited time on a Blu-ray, and it's very obscure Blu-ray, and it's very hard to find. It's very expensive on eBay. This is also very expensive because it's from Imprint, and it's a nice big box set, but you get a lot of bang for your buck. You got all 3 films in here. Silence, starring Andrew Garfield, and then, of course, Kundun. And then we've got the oldest film in here, Last Temptation of Christ, which I have seen. This is the only one of the 3 that I've seen, also in the Criterion collection. And then a nice hardbound book. Beautiful, beautiful hardbound book. In print, also killing it with their box sets this year. It kind of worked out too, because I worked in an Imprint and Radiance release into the rest of the list. So stay tuned for those. I didn't feel too bad about leaving these off because I am going to show some love to both of these labels later on in the list. So it worked out, but had to give those a shout out. Those are some incredible box sets. And one more honorable mention here, I wanted to give some love to steelbooks. This was kind of the year that I got back into steelbooks. Those of you who know me know I'm not the biggest steelbook fan, but I feel like the last couple years, steelbooks have been really stepping up their game. Lionsgate helped a lot with their incredible limited edition releases with the slipcovers and everything. The artwork on these that I saw this year were great. That's the first reason. The second reason I've started dipping back into steelbooks is because I've had no choice. Some of the 4K releases that came out this year were only available on steelbook. Taxi Driver, we also had Matilda at the end of last year that was only available on steelbook that I picked up for my wife. So yeah, there's a couple different reasons I've been getting back into steelbooks, and I'm very happy with these pickups. So I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple steelbooks that I thought were really great this year. First one I've already talked about in a recent video, and it's The Last Unicorn, which has some incredible artwork, and that's a Shout Factory release. I actually chose the steelbook over the slipcover for this release because I really liked it. That's a great movie. My daughter's been watching the crap out of that movie the last few days. And then this was a pleasant surprise. This technically is not a 2024 release, it's a re-release. It was an earlier UK release that was re-released here in the States in 2024, but I had to put it on the list because it is absolutely beautiful. It's Doctor Strange, the MCU film. Comes with a nice slipcover. This is the Mondo exclusive steelbook. Like I said, UK release first, but look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That looks incredible. I don't even know if it's getting picked up on camera. I love the classic like Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby era of Marvel Comics, and this looks straight off the page and is so much detail put into this steelbook. Then you've got the slipcover as well that has some elements that slide off. It looks incredible. I'm gonna take out the digital code because I actually haven't used that yet. And there are the discs. The discs look very comic booky too. Not my favorite MCU film, but yeah, just the release alone is incredible. That's why it didn't quite make my list. I would love it if we got more of these Mondo MCU steelbooks here in the States. Maybe, especially if they release some of my favorite MCU films, like the earlier stuff. Like I'm a big Phase 1 guy, so if they release some of those Phase 1 movies, I would definitely be excited about that. Had to throw a shout out to that one. Had to go back to my roots a little bit. Superhero movies are the reason I started collecting movies in the first place, so I wouldn't be here without them, so wanted to give a shout out to that. Another great release. But that's all for honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and dive into the list. At number 10 here, I've got a TerraVision release, which is an awesome boutique label that I feel like not enough people are talking about. There was so many great labels doing so much great work this year. We got so many wonderful releases. I actually have only one repeat on my entire list. So we're going to talk about 10 releases, 9 different labels, some great stuff coming out this year. Like I said, starting with TerraVision, the release of Dante's Inferno coming in at number 10. Such a sleeper hit. What a surprise this was. TerraVision wasn't even really on my radar. I don't think any of their other releases prior to this really fit into my wheelhouse, but I love silent films, especially creepy silent horror films. This is the first Italian horror film ever made. It's all the way back in 1911, and it is a feature-length silent film, and it is packed from front to back with incredible, breathtaking, early visual effects. Think Georges Méliès, that kind of stuff, trick films, but packed into a feature-length film. If you know the story, Dante's Inferno, it's basically just Dante being taken on a trip, a journey through all the different circles of hell and being shown how all the different people are punished. And there's just scene after scene of spectacle, tons of extras or a post-production effect or a forced perspective effect, all kinds of great stuff packed in here. I won't talk too much about the movie because I've already done a whole video on this as well, but the release is also excellent. There's disc art right there. There's a booklet, which I always appreciate, love that. And there's also several different audio tracks on here, 3 different scores, 3 completely different scores that you can choose from. And then you've got 3 different visual versions as well, 3 different restorations, 2 black and white versions and a red tint version. And you've got some video essays on there too. Wonderful release from TerraVision. I hope they do more early, like silent cinema, because this is right up my alley. That came out right at the beginning of the year. What a great way to start the year off strong, and I'm gonna be keeping an eye on TerraVision's releases in the future. Then at number 9, we've got an A24 release. A24's had a big year this year. They have been putting out their own exclusives for a few years now, but this year they started putting those exclusives in Walmart stores and Barnes & Noble stores, and they've started making their own like website exclusive versions, so there's multiple versions you can get. They've also started their own like AAA A24 subscription service that you can join. I haven't joined that yet, but it seems like a cool way to get their releases and some other bonuses as well. And the best release they put out this year, I think, is Stop Making Sense, the 1984 Talking Heads concert film. What a surprise this was. I had never seen this before. This is my first time seeing it. I'd never seen any concert film before. This was my first ever concert film. I kind of didn't think I would have any interest. I saw the reviews on Letterboxd. It's like the highest rated concert film ever. It has like a 4.7. So I was like, I'll give it a try, but I wasn't really expecting much. But this was so much fun. I had such a good time with this. This is directed by Jonathan Demme, who you know from Silence of the Lambs, many other classics. And it shows. The cinematography and the direction is incredible. I never thought I would be thinking about things like cinematography and editing while I was watching a concert, but it's incredible. Like every shot is so meticulously crafted and the compositions are so interesting. It's like you're at the concert live, but you get the best seat in the house for every single second of the show. It's a breeze. It's a nice like 88 minutes. It flew by. Last year was really my first experience with Talking Heads. I had never listened to their music before that. I started listening to it so I could watch True Stories from the Criterion Collection, which is a great movie as well. Really enjoyed that last year. But I started listening to the Stop Making Sense like album in preparation to watch this. So it worked out perfectly. I knew all the songs. I could sing along. I was bouncing around in my seat. David Byrne is an incredible entertainer. He's not just a singer. He is like bouncing around. Him and everybody else, all the band members are like jogging in place and dancing, running laps around the stage and acting like absolute hooligans the entire show. I was never bored. I was never checking my watch. Really fun. And also the release here is incredible. Not only do you get this nice hard box slipcase, but the design of this is so cool. You've got so many little tidbits in here. You've got like notes for the planning of the show. You've got all of this behind the scenes. Like, this is what I was talking about. Every single shot is like meticulously planned before the show. I don't know how they got these shots, because you basically only have one take. Maybe they had a few takes. I think they did go over a couple nights. So they maybe had a few chances to get the shot, but it's still incredible that they were able to get all these shots. Like, there's storyboards that David Byrne drew himself to plan out the lighting. The production of this is incredible. It starts out with just David Byrne playing the guitar by himself, and then they start wheeling out all the other instruments, and a new band member joins each song, and then by the end there's like 15 people up there going crazy. Just such a fun experience. I love this booklet too. It's got like the editor's notebook here. If you're interested in like filmmaking at all, this is awesome. You've got editor's notes. You've got all these little like bits of ephemera from the show, receipts and everything. Just such a cool behind the scenes look at a world that I was not aware of at all. This is awesome. This is like newspaper clippings from the premiere. You got so much cool stuff in here. An incredible release from A24. The 4K also looks incredible. It's a concert film, so you want it to look and sound really good. I had no problems with the restoration. Like I said, they're running around like crazy the entire show, and you can see like the beads of sweat on their faces. That's how good the picture looks. Highly recommend that one if you haven't picked it up yet. It is pretty expensive, but I totally think it is worth it. That was a pleasant surprise for me. I was not expecting that one this year, but really glad I went ahead and picked it up. Next up at number 8, we've got a Deaf Crocodile release. Another total surprise. I feel like a broken record, but like I said, this year was packed with incredible releases, and this is The Outcast. It's a part of their new, brand new packaging line that they've been doing. Deaf Crocodile's put out, I think, 6 or 7 of these already in 2024. This one was amazing. I did a whole video talking about my thoughts on this film, so I won't talk as much about this one as I did about Stop Making Sense, but it is an incredible coming-of-age folk horror winter tale. This is about this adolescent girl who lives in a very small village in Ireland, who is an outcast. She is abused by her own father. She is bullied by all of the other kids in the village. She's got no one. She's completely alone, and she makes friends with a ghost, a spirit. And I won't say anything else because it's so much fun. It's so atmospheric. It's shot in 16mm. It looks incredible. Look at this. I'll show you this little cover right here. Look at that. It's like Wicker Man vibes. Very atmospheric and spooky, and just, again, beautiful cinematography. That's going to be a running theme with me. It kind of blew me away. I can't wait to watch it again. I can't wait to read this booklet. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. It came out towards the end of the year. Probably my favorite film that Deaf Crocodile released last year, which is surprising because I usually go to Deaf Crocodile for their animated stuff. Not animated at all, live action film. Just a forgotten gem that I'm so happy Deaf Crocodile shed a little light on, and a beautiful release that they did for such an obscure film. That's what they do best. That's why I love Deaf Crocodile. I can't wait to see what they've got coming for us in 2025. For number 7, we've got an incredible box set from Arrow Video. This is the Conan Chronicles box set. Had to get this on the list. Don't forget about it. It came out very early in the year last year. Another great way to start off the year. 4K, 2-movie box set from Arrow Video. Includes Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. I decided to go with the box set version. They also put them out individually, so if you wanted to get just one or the other, or just have them individually with the original poster art on the front, you can also have that option. But I love the box set. Looks great on the shelf. There was some weird thing with the rights about this where they couldn't create artwork for it, which is kind of a bummer. So you just got this little cutout with some red clouds behind them. But they do have the original posters on the discs themselves. There is both films. Great, we've got 4K transfers of both. The first one, Barbarian, has 2 discs in here. These are loaded with extras. You've also got art cards, which, you know, is fine. It's whatever. Not very exciting, but the supplements on here, look at this. Look at that wall of text for all the special features on both. Even Destroyer has tons and tons of featurettes, behind the scenes, commentaries, feature-length commentaries on here, multiple feature-length commentaries. And then, of course, you get the standard Arrow Video treatment, 2 double-sided posters for those, and a huge booklet, like a massive booklet. This is both booklets smashed together for each film. Incredible. Such a cool release. Had to make my list. The only reason it's as low as it is honestly because I'm not as familiar with these films. I've only seen them once now. I got a group of friends together. We watched this as soon as I got the box set way back in January. But I'd like to revisit, especially the first one. I'd like to give those another watch and then do a deep dive on like the supplements. We watched some of the special features, listen to one of the commentaries, but I'd like to do more because there's tons of stuff on here. And I'd like to read that booklet too. So that is the Conan Chronicles box set coming in at number 7. Incredible release, a home run from Arrow Video. Hope they continue putting out great box sets in 2025. And it seems like they already are. I think they've already announced a few other big box sets that are coming out this year. So stay tuned for those. All right, for number 6, we're going to a completely different genre, but we're staying in the 80s. This is an 80s film. This is a 1980 film from Vinegar Syndrome with a brand new label. This was the first one that kicked off the Cinematograph label, and it's little darlings. Look at this release. What an incredible release, and what an incredible new label to pop up this year. It's a sub-label of Vinegar Syndrome. These are awesome. They got this nice hard box slipcase. I've already done a couple videos on this line. Really like this line. They're digibooks inside, nice classy looking releases, very well printed. Tons of reading in here on the film. 2 separate essays. They're both great. I've read both of these. There's a little comic in the back as well. Original poster. And then you've got the 4K and Blu-ray disc. Not all the Cinematograph releases are 4K. Some of them are just Blu-ray. But this one was 4K and the restoration looks incredible. This was another big surprise. Me and my wife adored this movie. It was one of our favorite watches from last year. We weren't expecting much based on the generic sex comedy premise, but it totally blew us away. It is an incredible coming-of-age story that has so much to say about the teenage experience and how brutal it can be to be a teenager. Absolutely love this one. If you held out and you weren't sold on the premise or the trailer for this one, definitely give it a watch. It's got an incredible soundtrack, incredible performances, and it's just great. It's so good. Definitely a lot better than I was expecting, and the packaging just sends it over the edge. Such a cool release, one of my favorites from 2024. All right, number 5 is an incredible box set, and honestly, this will be a lot higher on the list if all of it had come out in 2024. Kind of a weird release. This was a Kickstarter exclusive. It is the Fantastica box set from Alexandra Tushko, a Soviet director who does incredible fantasy fairy tale adventure films in the 50s and 60s. I love all the films. Well, not all of them. I've only seen 3. There's 4 films in here. Ilya Muromets, Sampo, and The Tale of Tsar Sultan. These had already come out the year prior, 2023. Limited edition exclusive slipcover editions from Deaf Crocodile. Then in 2024, they released the 4th film by the same director, Ruslan and Ludmila, and they released on Kickstarter a special box set edition. There was a few different versions you could get. If you didn't have the films, you could buy the set with all 4 films in it. I already had those 3, so I bought the version that was just the box set and the 4th film. So these came out in 2024, but most of those films I had already had and had already seen. So I'm gonna put this right at number 5. I haven't had a chance to watch the 4th one yet, but I'm so excited to check it out. I really, really liked the first 3. There's so much in here. If you like fantasy films that play it straight, it's not tongue-in-cheek, there's no winking at the camera. They're just straightforward, epic adventure films. Some of them a little bit more fairy tale than others. Sampo is more fairy tale film. Ilya Muromets is more of like a historical epic, like a war film. Some huge battle sequences with tons of extras, incredible practical effects from the time, and some interesting early visual effects as well. Not to mention these incredible slipcovers and these incredible releases. There's also booklets in each one of these limited edition booklets, and there's also some great supplements on here as well. I'm excited to check out the 4th one. This box set is so cool. I'm so glad I supported the Kickstarter. I hope Deaf Crocodile does more incredible box sets like this in the future. This is the first time they've done something like this. And like I said, it was a Kickstarter. Hopefully they can like mass produce some more box sets in the future. But I love this one. More incredible artwork all the way around. It's like a nice hefty top loader, kind of like the imprint box sets. So I love it. At number 4, we just mentioned them, Imprint coming in at number 4. With one of the best releases of the year. It's NeverEnding Story. This is an incredible release. Obviously, it also comes with this huge packaging. I've already done a whole video on this, so I'm not going to open this up again for you. But man, was this a great release. Not just the exceptional crazy packaging that they did, but the release itself, the 4K looks incredible. There are a bunch of special features on here. 5 discs. You get the new imprint 4K restoration, you get the German 4K cut, you get both discs on Blu-ray, and then you get a full documentary on here as well, and tons of supplements to go along with it, and this beautiful lenticular slip box as well. This was a lot of fun. I loved watching this. I watched it with my kids, and my daughter, specifically, my youngest, has fallen in love with this film. She has already watched it 2 more times since then, like the next 2 days. We had a snow day, and also she was home from school because she was a little sick. She got strep throat, and she wanted to watch a cute fuzzy dragon. She loves Falcor in this. Soundtrack is amazing. Movie holds up, looks incredible. I had a great time. This is not one that I grew up with. I watched it a couple times as a kid, maybe once or twice. Had not seen it in a long time. Really enjoyed it. I'm still excited to watch the German cut. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet, but this is an amazing release. Hopefully we get a standard edition down the line for the people that missed out on this box set. I think it's still in print. I think you can still grab it. So that had to make my top 5. I've got it right there at number 4. I know some people probably think it should be higher than that. The packaging is great. I love all the goodies inside. It's like a fun little trip down memory lane, but I'm not gonna be reading that stuff very often. I would have much preferred just a full booklet in here with some essays about the film. That's what I like. I like learning about the history and the production of these films. So I prefer like a more standard box set with a booklet in there. Also, this list is not just about the packaging. It's also about how much I love the films, and there are just a few films that I like a lot more than NeverEnding Story that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. I tried to be comprehensive with this list, take into account the film and the packaging and the transfer and everything, and roll it all up and tried to make my list, but it's really hard to rank these. But these were my top 10 of the year, so don't pay too much attention to the ranking. Coming in at number 3, we've got a Criterion release. I had to get Criterion on here. My favorite label by far, even though they got some healthy competition last year. This is Paper Moon, their beautiful digipack release of Paper Moon. One of my favorite first-time watches of last year. Had never seen this movie, was very excited to watch it when I heard it announced midway through the year. Just came out right at the end of the year, just made the cut. What a great movie this is. This is a road movie. It is a con man movie. It's a father-daughter story. Beautiful film. This film hit me very hard. Like I said, have a very young daughter right here. NeverEnding Story. But this is the second film of the year starring Tatum O'Neal. She was also in Little Darling. She's one of the leads in that film as well as a teenager. This is her much younger. 8 years old she was when she made this film, and she won Best Supporting Actress. She won the Oscar at 8 years old. She gives an incredible performance in here. It's a real-life father and daughter, Ryan and Tatum O'Neal, which apparently, according to the booklet inside here, was kind of a nightmare to shoot that way, but it came across great. They both give incredible performances. Tatum O'Neal plays, like I said, an 8-year-old girl whose mother passes away. She has no father figure. She ends up under the care of this kind of scumbag played by Ryan O'Neal. He is just a con man who makes a living taking advantage of people and kind of stealing people's money. He's great. It's shot in black and white. It's got some beautiful cinematography. It's made in the 70s, but it's intentionally shot in black and white because it takes place in the Depression era, and it's just so much fun. It takes place in the Midwest. Like I said, beautifully shot as they take a road trip across the country, butting heads, and just some incredible scenes together, arguing with each other the entire way, but it's very funny. It's a comedy, so much heart in it as well. It hit me really hard. I absolutely love this movie, and the packaging on top of that. It's a great movie, but the packaging is incredible. She carries this cigar box around the entire film that she stores all of her like treasures in, and the digipack is made to look exactly like the cigar box. You open it up, it's got a little picture in here, which is very important scene in the movie that I won't spoil. There is an essay in here on this old-timey looking poster. And then the discs, oh, I love this kind of design. The discs are made to look like they're actually in the cigar box. They're like matchsticks and perfume bottles, all references to the movie. The 4K UHD like banner is actually put on a little ticket because there's a carnival in the movie. You pop the discs out, and underneath the discs, it carries through, and there's a bunch of references to the movie as well. There's the photo that she has of her mother. There's the $20 bill. So many references packed in here. Absolutely love this packaging. I wish they would do more stuff like this. This just sent it over the top. Had to be top 3. Loved the movie. Love the packaging, love everything Criterion did with this. I can't wait to dig into the supplements. Like I said, I've already read the essay in there, which was very informative as well. Love it. I did have an issue with my 4K disc. It skipped and kind of froze in one scene. It wouldn't go any further, so I had to finish it on the Blu-ray. But getting to switch versions halfway through the movie just made it apparent how great the 4K disc is, because you're watching the 4K and then you immediately drop down to the Blu-ray and it's like night and day. Very big difference. So I highly recommend the 4K. Hopefully I can contact Criterion and get them to send me a replacement disc for that, because that was a bummer. I'd love to finish it in 4K. But I'm down to watch it again. I would love to watch this again. Had a great time with it. If you missed this one last year, definitely pick it up. I had pretty high expectations for that, and it still exceeded them. It was great. What a great release. All right, coming in at number 2, speaking of Criterion, I already have this movie on Criterion. Wonderful Criterion release. It's great, and I don't usually upgrade. I'm not a big upgrader. If I have the film on Blu-ray, that's usually good enough for me. But I had to upgrade to this one. This is an incredible release from Radiance. This is the Häxan limited edition box set from Radiance. Like I said, I already had the Blu-ray from Criterion, but I had to spring for this one. This was worth the upgrade in my opinion. It's a beautiful limited edition box set. It's got a huge, beefy booklet in there, which I love. Can't wait to read through that. Lots of essays in there. How many pages is that? Good 75 pages. Incredible. Love when they include a booklet. The packaging itself is, I don't even know if it's going to pick up on camera. So much detail in this. This is actually raised and embossed. You've got some incredible original artwork there. Also on the back, there's even more. Goes all the way around. This is an awesome movie, by the way. If you haven't seen Häxan, it's a creepy horror film. Super early silent horror film, but it's also a documentary. It's everything. It's great. Highly recommend this. They've got the original artwork underneath, Skinavo case that Radiance does, just like Criterion. But the real big seller, I mean, the packaging is amazing. The booklet's amazing. There's also some art cards in there as well. 2 discs, but the real seller is the supplements. Look at that. This whole side is supplements. 3 different audio scores that you can listen to the film with, including one by Maddie B, who is a modern composer, composed a score for this from 2006, also composed a score from another Criterion release for my favorite silent film, The Phantom Carriage, which I love, is actually one of my favorite scores of all time. So I can't wait to hear the rest of his score that he did for Häxan. I actually popped this disc in, watched through several scenes, loved his score, loved what he was doing with it, so I can't wait to finish it. But also, not only do you get 3 different soundtracks for the film, you also get like 4 different cuts of the film. You get the original Swedish version, you get the American cut that was released here in the States, you also get like 2 other alternate cuts. So many different versions of the film on this. You also get a 14-minute interview with Guillermo del Toro, one of my favorite directors, as he talks about how this film inspired his career. You've got a video essay that's like 12 minutes long that I watched. Tons of supplements on here. It's everything. Like, this is a complete release. This was almost my number 1. You'll see what my number 1 is in just a second. I had to put that up there. But you've got everything I like. You got stacked, loaded with supplements. You've got a full gigantic booklet with information in there, and you've got just gorgeous packaging. Nobody's doing box sets right now like Radiance is. I'm tempted to pick up all the box sets they put out. Like I said, I had another box set at the beginning of the video from Radiance. Just didn't make the list because I haven't seen those films yet, but it's another beautiful box set. I am loving Radiance. I can't wait to see what they do in 2025. I'm almost all in on Radiance. I don't know if I can afford it, but they are killing it with their releases. Had to get that one. It's totally worth the double dip. And Radiance aren't that expensive. I think this was like $32. It wasn't even that bad for a nice big box set like this. Like, Arrow would have charged just $60 for this. Crazy. Radiance, you're one of my favorite labels, and I'm so happy with that release. All right, what is my number 1? We've already talked about like all of my favorite labels. We talked about Criterion, Def Crocodile, A24, Imprint, Arrow Video. What could be my number 1? Some of you probably already know. I've talked about this briefly on some live streams. It had to be this, even though I kind of cheated a little bit because I haven't seen all of these films. There's a ton of films in this box set, and I haven't seen them. I've only seen actually one of the films in this set, but it was such a incredible, like, unforgettable experience watching this movie in the theater that I am so excited to dive into the rest of this filmmaker's filmography. that's why this is here. Not just because, well, first of all, you'll see the box set itself is incredible. It's totally worth the #1 spot, almost on packaging alone. But I'm so excited to dive into these films. I'm definitely going to be prioritizing this year. So I had to put it at #1. I had it at like #3 for a while, but I popped it in earlier today, looked at some of the transfers, looked at some of the films and then the cinematography, and it just took me straight back to the theater when I watched the 7.5-hour epic from Bela Tarr, Satan Tango. This is the Bela Tarr box set from Curzon. I absolutely love these Curzon box sets. I want to get more of them. You can see the 3 Colors trilogy back there from Curzon. Had to grab that one last year. Also grabbed the Bela Tarr box set. If you don't know anything about Bela Tarr, I highly recommend him. He is a Hungarian film director who worked through the 80s, 90s, and I think all the way up through the 2000s, but he liked to shoot things in black and white, kind of similar to Paper Moon, which we just talked about. He told very human, very down-to-earth, like stories about ordinary, everyday people, very depressing, nihilistic views and perspective in his films, but they are beautifully shot and very powerful stories. Just seeing one, I've only seen one, but I'm completely sold on his entire filmography from just that experience I had with Satan Tango in the theater. If you ever have the chance to see his masterpiece, Satan Tango, in the theater, do it, because you will not regret it. It was an incredible experience, one of my best theater experiences of all time, and I can't wait to have that again with more of his films, hopefully. So excited to dive into these. These look incredible. Look at these. Like, these are the only physical media box sets I own that I could like display in my living room. Like, they look so classy, they look so nice. There's like a cloth-bound book texture to this box set. This is a hard slip box, and then inside here, you've got another hard slip box, slip case with some brand new abstract artwork, which totally fits with Bela Tarr's very dark, depressing cinematography and just art in general. And then inside here, you've got even more stuff. You've got 2 different packages in here. You've got the Digipack with all the films on there. We'll look at those in just a second. First, look at this. This is such a nice way to display this stuff. You've got a nice little box, opens up here. I haven't been able to do a video on this. It's been crazy the last couple months with Christmas and New Year's and all the videos I'm trying to get out. So I haven't done a solo video on this, so I'll show it off a little bit here. This is the booklet you get, nice thick booklet with a ton of information on all the films in there. And then look at this, 4 different posters. I won't open all these up, but we've got 4 different posters for 4 different films in the set. One of them is the Satan Tango poster. I'm probably gonna be putting that up in the office here. Those are great, those look really nice. Then you've got the Digipack itself, which has incredible shots from all of the films. There's a Satan Tango shot. Remember that scene very clearly, very vividly. I can't wait to watch some of these other ones. You've got Werkmeister Harmonies in here. You've got, let me see, I'm gonna open this up so you can see. There's Werkmeister Harmonies right there. There's both discs for Satan Tango because it's a very, very long film. You got the Turin Horse, which I've heard nothing but great things about. And then over here, on this side, you've got Damnation, The Outsider, and Family Nest. This is all of his films, a complete filmography. I think he's done like some documentaries that didn't make this film. Maybe they're on the supplements. I actually haven't looked into the special features yet, but I did pop in Satan Tango. And like I said, it took me straight back to the theater. As soon as I got to the menu screen and the music started playing, I was back at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta for 8 hours watching this epic movie. And just looking at the cinematography again, for just a few scenes, I wanted to watch it again. That's how crazy I am. But that's how good of a movie it is. I wanted to rewatch it immediately because it's so good. And I can't wait to dive into the rest of his movies. I've heard Damnation is great. Heard nothing but great things about Werkmeister Harmonies as well. These are just Blu-rays. Unfortunately, we didn't get any 4Ks in this set. I know they did recently do a Werkmeister Harmonies 4K in the UK. I do have the Werkmeister Harmonies 4K though from Criterion, so I'll probably watch that one that way. But just to have his whole filmography in one box set is incredible. I love these comprehensive director box sets that Curzon is doing. I want to get more of them. There's a Wim Wenders one that I have to grab at some point. There's a Lars von Trier one. There's a couple others. I would love to have all these. They're incredible box sets. I love what they look like, and I love how comprehensive they are. Tons of special features and stuff on there too. Had to be number one. I know it's kind of, I don't know, kind of cheating because I haven't seen the films. I wanted to only put stuff on here that I've seen. This is the only one I kind of cheated with, but I mean, I think you can forgive me. It's incredible. It's such a good box set, and I will be diving into those very soon, hopefully in the next couple months. I may have to space them out because, I don't know, I might get deeply depressed watching through too many of these back to back, but I can't wait to watch them all. I'm gonna start with Werckmeister Harmonies and work my way through the set. Let me know if you picked this up or if you picked up any of the stuff I talked about today. 2024 was a ridiculous year for physical media, especially the boutique labels, man. If you're not collecting boutique labels, you gotta get in. So much great stuff coming out from Imprint, Arrow, A24 getting in on it, Def Crocodile, Criterion, some of my favorites. And there's even more that I didn't even mention. There's stuff that I'm not even collecting, stuff that's falling through the cracks. So recommend anything you have for me in the comments section. What are your favorites from the year? I actually would like to see your whole top 10 because I'm sure everybody's gonna have a very different list because so much stuff came out last year. Thank you so much for watching through my entire list. It was very difficult to put together, so hopefully this video is not too long and too rambly because I had a lot of thoughts and I took this probably way more seriously than I should have. The ranking was very important to me. So hope that was helpful for you. Hopefully I gave you some good recommendations. Until next time, keep collecting, and I'll be back with another one real soon.